Hello everybody and welcome back to Blender for Beginners. So the last episode, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It was an introduction to Blender. We showed you some controls and some basic tools, how to get started basically. So let's open Blender up again. Let's go do the same thing again. We're going to left click camera, right, control click light. So click, control click, right click, delete. I'm going to delete them. I'm going to come down here. We're going to put get the two arrows. So just get it over the edge. Right click, join areas. Select the bottom one and click. Now we're going to tab to go into edit mode. We're going to press 3. We're going to scale 1.5. S to scale. Let me just put my screencast keys on before I forget. Right. So S to scale. S 1.5. That's going to give us a 3 meter cube. Standard cube is 2 meters by 2 meters. Right, so we're going to GZ 1.5. So GZ, or Z for our friends over the pond. So Z, the one next to X. GZ 1.5. And the reason we're doing 1.5 this time is because we've scaled by 1.5. So we've got a 3 meter cube. So we want to bring it back 1.5 as well. So GX minus 1.5. Enter. So now we've got a 3 meter cube sitting in a position, and we've done our usual routine, our usual opening routine, which I did for months and months and months every time I opened Blender, until one day I found out about this. File, defaults, save startup file. Click on it again. Right, make sure you click on that second one. If you go default, save startup file. If you move off it, it disappears. So you make sure you've got to click that second box. So save startup file, save startup file. Now, next time we start Blender, it's going to start us here with those windows closed. So we don't actually need to do that routine anymore. If you want to reset it, you go File, Defaults, Load Factory Settings, click the little box that comes up, and then save startup file. So you can save your startup file to however you want. So for the purposes of these tutorials, I think this is a good start in having a 3 meter cube right here and having everything closed off. So let's go, making sure we're in edit mode, let's go 3 for face select. Let's alt click on that edge there, and let's shift click on the back face. We've only got the front face that's not selected. We're going to right click and we're going to delete faces. That's going to leave us with a 3 meter by 3 meter panel, and we can look at the edging under here, under edge length. Viewport displays, that's 3 meters by 3 meters. Let's turn that off. Now, I'm going to want a couple of panels, so I don't want to work on one and then have to create a new one. So what we're going to do is we're going to Shift D to duplicate. We're going to left click. Actually, before you click anything, Shift D to duplicate. If you move your mouse around now, you can move the duplicate around wherever you want it to do. If you left click now, that duplicate is going to stay where you put it. So if I left click now, it's going to stay up there. I didn't want it up there. Right, so Shift D. Now instead of going up there, what we're going to do is going to right click. Now right click hasn't cancelled it, it's just reset it to its position. So if we now GY, and now grab it along the y-axis and move it along. So it was still there, it was just overlapping the other face. And apologies if you hear my dog, he's just going to run outside barking something. So yeah, Shift D to duplicate, right click, doesn't cancel it, it keeps it there, so you end up with two faces. So Shift D, right click, there are two faces here, one is selected and one isn't, even though you can't see the other one. GY. Now then, the other thing we can do with that as well is, remember we used Shift R in the previous to build up the extra floors. Now, if I press Shift R now, it's just gonna repeat my last action. So the last action was GY, so it's just gonna grab that and move it. So what we actually want to do now, if we want to repeat a duplicate, so we go Shift D. We don't touch anything, we press Y minus 4, that will bring us along there, and then we press enter. So Shift D, Y minus 4, enter, that will bring you to there. Now if we press Shift R, it will duplicate as many as we want. If you hold it down, you can keep duplicating them. You can have as many as you want. Now then, something about having this many. Now we don't need this many, obviously, but something that happens when once you start modelling and you're getting into buildings, this will start to happen. Can't get any closer. I can't get any closer. I can't move it, and it's not working. You run out of zoom. Literally, I've just completely run out of zoom. Now this happens a lot, especially when you're working on small details. What you can do about this is, if you click on a face like that, if you press period or full stop on the number pad, not the one on the keyboard, the one on the number pad, it will take you straight to that face. Now you're actually close in and you can work on that face. So if you ever get stuck in the zoom lock, there may be a technical term for it, I don't know, but like here I'm not able to move very much, and it's awkward, and spinning it's horrible, and yeah, it's not very good. So if I was to press period on the number pad now, I can now go right into that face. I can rotate around that face nice and easily. Now let's Control Z a number of times. I'll leave a couple of faces here. So when you're working on panel buildings, like we're going to do in this instance, you want to have a couple of spares. So you want to have one you're working on, and at least one spare that you can then go and duplicate. What we are going to do is we're going to go Control R. We're going to scroll the mouse wheel up a couple of times. We're going to create 3 divisions. We're going to left click, right click, Control R, scroll the mouse wheel. Remember, left click and you can move it, right click will set it into position so that they're even. Control R again, left click, right click. So when you're doing loop cuts, remember that you need to left click, right click, or unless you actually want to move it. If you do want to move an edge, let's say we actually wanted to put an edge higher up, we can actually go move it to where we want to and then left click again. That will set it into position. Now if we was to right click at that point, so Control R, if we was to right click at this point, it will set it back to the proper position. So left click, right click to go back to position, left click if you wanted it moved. Right, if that's not confusing enough, let's Control R, let's go along here. Now with last time I showed you bevel, which was Control B. It's not just for doing like corners along edges. You can actually use it. What have we got here? Let me just think about this. We're 3 meters, so that's 2.25. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine door height. Yeah, so I'm going to click that. I'm going to Control click that one just to select those, and we're going to Control B and we're going to bevel. Now, if you've got a load of faces in here, you use your mouse wheel to scroll up and down. We don't want hundreds, we just want one bevel. And what we can do is we can bevel an edge, and it will give us even distribution either side, and even a bit of a pointy bit at the top. And the reason that's been is because I'm only beveling these 3, so it's actually separating this vertex, but it's going to stay attached in the middle and eventually join up to that one. Don't want to go beyond the edge. So let's say our doorway's that much. We're going to Control R. Now because this hasn't joined up, what I want to do is I want to get that vertex. So 1 for vertex select, left click that, shift click that one, press J to join. That's going to join that split up there. Remember, if you want to join through a face where there is an existing face, it is J. If you want to join where there isn't a face, so let's say we wanted to join here, it's F. F to create a face, F to create a face, edge 2 to edge select, let's select those, F to create a face. If we now want to split that face and go across there, it's J. J will join vertices and F will fill them. So if you want to fill, it's F. If you want to join, it's J. They are different, so let's just delete those. We don't need those. Alright, let's make a couple of doors in here. Now inset. Let's create a bit of a doorway. Let's go 2 to edge select. We're going to go and grab these 2 bottom edges. Let's get ourselves onto vertex select. There is a shortcut for that, but I find it kind of awkward. It is Control Shift Tab. Control Shift and Tab. That will give you your snap menu. But I find it just as easy to come up here and select it. That Control Shift Tab, it hurts my hands. I find that very uncomfortable. Out of all the shortcuts, that's one that I don't actually particularly like. Okay, so we're going to shift click. We're going to click that one. We're going to shift click that. We're going to GZ. We're going to control click over a vertex. That's going to lower that down to the ground. I'm going to press L to select linked. 3 to go into face mode, M to merge, and we're going to select by distance. That's going to remove those excess vertices. Now, L, linked, it will select wherever your mouse cursor is, whatever face it's touching, it will select all faces that are connected to that face. So everything that is linked and joined. So it doesn't actually mean if we was to snap these together. Show you what this actually does. Right, pressing L now won't select everything, it will still only select the individual sections, and the reason being is because these aren't actually joined up, they just snap together. If we was to press A to select all and merge by distance, it will remove those additional vertices, and now when we press L it will select everything. We don't actually want to do that, so let's Control Z a number of times if you were following along with that. Let's get back to that point so that we've got the flat bottom doorway. Let's alt click this corner piece here. If you miss it, just Control Z. You get the wrong one, Control Z. You get the wrong one, Control Z. Just get your mouse over it, alt click that corner piece there. I'm going to extrude X 0.15. No, let's not do that much. That's too much. Control Z. Extrude X 0.1, and we're going to create a little bit of a door frame, bit of a doorway there. Now then, I want to inset these, but if I was to inset them individually, right, that's not too bad. That looks like door panels, doesn't it? Yeah, let's have those as door panels. Those are perfectly fine. Let's I want them to be a bit narrower, but I want them to be a bit taller as well. Now if we was to scale Z, what's going to happen is it's going to scale from the center, so I want them all to scale. I want them all to be a bit taller. So what we can do now is up here we have a selection: bounding box, center, 3D cursor, individual origins, medium point, and active element. This is the pivot, right? So we can also select that menu by pressing period on the keyboard, not on the number pad. The period on the number pad will zoom you in. Period on the keyboard, or full stop on the keyboard, will bring up this menu. Now, if we just mouse over there and select individual origins, now when we press scale Z and we pull them, now we can scale them all individually, rather than them all scaling in proportion to one another. Let's just make them a little bit taller. Let's extrude X, let's drag them back a little bit. Let's right click, subdivide. Should we do that again? No, we'll just do 4 windows. Right click, subdivide, I to inset. If you get an inset like this and you press I again, remember to get individual ones. Let's I to inset them. Let's extrude them back along the X just a little bit. And now we've created a couple of door frames. Shall we make some handles? Inset, scale Z, and down to about there. Let's extrude X. I can hear Topi moaning about the tries already. We're only at 600 and odd. Right, we're going to Control R, loop select. We're going to Control R, loop select. We're going to loop. We're going to not loop select. Control R, loop cut. We're going to now, making sure you're in 3. We're going to GX. We're going to grab. let's grab all 4 faces. Let's take them in a little bit. Now let's grab these 2 GX and bring them out a little bit. So we have some funky little door handles there. That'll do. So that's pretty low poly and it'll look alright. You can put a little bit of metal on them, it'll look okay in the game wise. Okay, so we've got a double door frame there. So we want some windows. We want some windows. Let's get some windows in here. Let's grab those. Let's I. So I twice. But we're doing a single inset. Let's I again. Let's go and Alt select that edge. Let's extrude X 0.05. I only want a shallow ridge on that. Alright, let's Control R, let's loop select that. Now then, let's set this into position. There's something I want to show you here, because I hope my dogs aren't disturbing you. I can hear them, they're going mad. Right, what this is doing is this is following the shape of this, because this is elongated at the top. So if we was to GG this, right, this is something else as well. GG, there is GZ, that will grab everything there and it will just move it in the Z axis exactly the same as it is. Okay, GG will move it along the edges. So let's say we was to grab that one and GG that one, we can move it along and up and down and side to side along where it's already going. That may seem a little bit confusing at the moment. Don't worry about it. I will show you some really good uses for that later on. It's just to make you aware of it. What I also want to make you aware of is that scale not only scales things. If we press scale now, scale, whoops, let's try just pressing scale and not A at the same time. I hit 2 keys at once then. Sorry. Right, let's Alt select that. Let's press S to scale. We're going to press Z, 0, enter. So S, Z, or Z, 0, enter. Now that's going to flatten that out. That's going to give us a division that we wanted, rather than having these. So I just wanted to show you that. It's not really necessary right at this step. Let's grab that edge there. Let's dissolve that edge. Did I explain dissolving edges? Dissolving and deleting edges. There is 2 different things you can do. If I delete this edge, what's going to happen is it's going to remove the face. It's also going to leave these vertexes in here. Now they're going to stay there anyway at the moment. Right, let's I want to leave these end ones on because they connect to these bits. So in fact, let's Alt select that and let's just Shift select the end pieces so that we've got them. Right, if I delete this now, it's going to remove everything, but it's also going to leave the vertexes around these points as well, which we don't want that to do. So we can dissolve the edges and it will remove the edges and remove the vertexes from these points. Now we have created an n-gon here. Now you may think, well, what's an n-gon? Right, we've got 3 things. We've got tries, we've got quads, we've got n-gons. A try is 3 faces, 3 points, corners, so 3 sections. A quad is 4. So this one here is a quad. It's got 4 corners. This is a quad. It's got 4 corners. These down here are quads, these are quads. This, however, this face here isn't a quad, and the reason being is because it's got a 5th point here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's got more than 4 points on a face is an n-gon, and games don't like n-gons. We can fix this now by going to here and pressing J to join, and doing that, pressing J to join there, and we've created 3 tries. So those are perfectly fine for the game, and the game will triangulate faces anyway. So even if you create a quad, the game will split it up into 2 triangles, but it will accept quads, whereas n-gons it won't accept. But we don't need to worry about them for now, because I'll show you a way to fix these later on. Now then, the reason I wanted that separate, let's loop cut this. Let's cut it 3 times to give us 4 window panels. Let's go 3 face select. Let's click that, control click, control click, control click. Let's I to inset again. Take it to about there. Let's extrude X. Let's bring those windows back in. So now we've got a nice panel window. What I also wanted to do down here, we're going to control R. We're going to put 3 loop cuts in here. I'm going to grab these faces. Another way to select faces, if you want to select them, let's have a look at it front on, and we'll press C. C will give us this circle. Now if we left click and paint over, we can paint over anything we want, but I've selected one too many. So in order to delete ones you don't want, you use middle mouse button. So if you want to unpaint, you can do it with middle mouse button. If you want to paint, you do it with your left mouse button. Now I can't rotate the screen or anything, so there's nothing I can do at the moment. So in order to get out of here, you're going to need to right click. So let's just unpaint those faces. So C to circle. Let's just deselect those again. C to circle. Paint over without going over the edges, so paint within the edges. If you do paint over one edge, you can then go over the top and press the mouse button, the middle mouse button, to unpaint them, and we're going to right click to get out of the circle. So now we should have those selected. That's just another way of selecting things. Let me show you another way of selecting things as well actually. If we select these 2 faces here and we press Control and plus on the number pad, nothing happens. Why? Oh, hello, interesting. Why not? Why? It worked. It didn't work and then it worked. Thank you, Blender, for making me look. This does work, honestly. Let's just select these 2 faces, press Control plus on the number pad. Why that didn't work then, I have absolutely no idea. It could be a glitch, it could be a little bit of a bug, because that normally always works without fail. So plus on the number pad, Control and plus on the number pad. If you want to go minus on the number pad, it will take you 1 down. Now it's going up and down at the moment. This is best when you're selecting from the center of anywhere. So if we wanted to get these windows and window frames, what we could actually do is, in fact, show you something else as well here. Another selection method is if we select these 2 windows and we go select similar area. Now it's given us a bit more than we needed, so let's get this and let's drop this down to 0.001. Still giving us a bit too much. Now we can just go and deselect these. So you've got select similar. I have mixed success with using that. Sometimes it's very handy, sometimes because you can select by material, by size, by all sorts of things. So that's a little bit hit and miss for me. I don't tend to use that very much, but sometimes it can be very handy. Now what I want to show you here was with the Control plus, what we can do is if we select the windows and we use Control plus on the number pad, do it again, we've actually selected all the window frames as well now. Maybe we didn't want that, so we can Control minus and just get these bits. Now if we shift select the windows, we've just got the window frames. That's very handy for when you're UV mapping. We will get to that very soon, probably in the next episode or maybe the one after that. I'm not sure at the moment. I just want to take things very slowly, give you some information, try not to overload you with too much, but also show you things that are available that you can go and play around with and experiment with. Don't be afraid of playing around, don't be afraid of experimenting. If you get things wrong, Control Z is there. Right there, just keep pressing Control Z. You'll fix it. Right, something I haven't done. And what did I say in the first episode? Save. I haven't even saved. That's not a great example. Let's save. Let's go save as. In here, in your save menu, you can actually have favourites. So this is my workers and resources folder. As you can see, I've got absolutely loads of stuff in here. Let's create a new folder. Let's call it I don't know, video. Call it whatever you want. That's yours. That's up to you. Let's go in video. Let's change this to episode 2. You want to call it house or something? That's your choice. So in there, in the save menu, I meant to actually show you there. Yeah, you've got favourites, so you can actually add favourites. So my Blender folder, which has got my add-ons and everything in it. I've deliberately not installed any add-ons other than screencast keys because I want to show you as we get to use them. I'll show you where to get them from and how to use them. I've got a WRSR folder, which is all my workers and resources stuff. I've got work in progress. This is actually I've just saved that into a folder in there. Now it's generally good practice to have folders for you things because then you can store individual bits and pieces in there. There is also a WIP folder which is work in progress. This is inside the Blender folder. This is actually this one. Even though I've got it shortcutted here, this is generally where I save all my blends. So all my blends are all stuck in here. I've got loads of them. Let's save that in there. So save. Naughty me not saving while I was telling you to save. Right, so okay, we've got a double door and we've got a window that we've made. Something we can do here. Let's say something I needed to mention. Go up here to this window up here. Click this arrow. Go down here to where it says cavity. Click on that and then change to both. Now then, it's given us a bit of funky shade in that. So this is without it, this is with it. Just makes it look a little bit better, and I can differentiate between faces a lot easier. Things don't get as lost in detail as much. Alright, so let's get back to what we were doing. 3 face mode. Let's do that. Let's Control plus. Right, we're going to GX 0.15. Is that too much? That's 15 centimeters. Let's Control Z. Let's GX 0.1. That'll do. That's better. Okay. I just want to create a bit of like a concrete base around the building. Now we need to match this side up to this now. So what we're going to do here is we're going to Control R. We're going to do 3 again. So giving us 4 faces. We're going to grab these 3 faces. We're still on vertex select, so we're going to GX and we're going to vertex select to there. Now that's going to bring that out. This should be level. Yeah. What we can do then is just go and grab this face at the bottom here, and we can right click delete faces we don't want. There's another face there. Just go right click, let's delete that face. Alright, so we don't need any internal faces. They were just additional ones that we'd kind of pulled out of the shape a little bit. We can also get rid of those 3. No, we can't. No, we can't. They're the outside ones. I thought it created doubles there, but it hasn't. No, that's fine. That's fine. Let's go do this side. So 3 loop cuts, Control R, 3 loop cuts, 3 face select, Shift, click, Control click, G to the Y, no, GX, snap it to that edge, delete that face, go inside, grab that little face there, face, lovely. Now then, when we snap these together, now, if we link, so, did I explain now? I think I did. I'm actually doing 2 recordings because I messed the first one up. Yeah, so if we press L to select, I might have already gone over this, but if I'm repeating myself, sorry. Press L to select something. It depends on where your mouse cursor is. So if we L select that, if we L select that, if we L select that, select that. So it will select everything that's linked to whatever face you're pointing at. So let's grab that, with L, let's GY and let's go and snap that to there. Now then, the reason that's happened, let's GY, let's drag it back out of there, is because we haven't switched off individual origins. So let's press period and let's go back to the bounding box center. So period, full stop, on the keyboard, not on your number pad. So now when we go GY, we click, it will, even though I clicked wrong there, it will click to the whichever vertex and it will join up. So now we've got a building that actually matches. We're not going to join them up just yet. Yeah, the advantage to that is if you've got, oops, I meant to press GY. If you've got a building like this Let's just link hide that. Let's L Shift D GY. Did I explain about the vertexes? I think I did. I'm not sure if that was in the recording that I messed up. If you try to snap to a vertex, if you're coming at it from this side, it's not going to snap. It's not going to snap this side to this side if you're going that way. If you get what I mean. If you want this side and this side to snap together, you need to be coming from this side. It's nearest vertex to nearest vertex, so you can actually snap midway through if you. I'll show you uses for that later, but for now all you need to understand is it's nearest vertex to nearest vertex. So if you want this side to snap onto this side, what you need to do is drag it beyond the edge, and then L G Y, grab back, snap to that vertex there. People do have a lot of trouble with snapping. So there we go. We've got the front door. We've got the front door, we've got two windows. How long have we been going? Half an hour. This is why it takes me so long, because I end up messing about with all sorts of stuff. And I'm just doing a basic building here. Now, I hid that panel, GUI. If you want to hide something, press H. Don't forget you've got it hidden. Now if you want to unhide stuff, you press Alt H. This comes in handy. This comes in very handy sometimes, especially if you want to work on a specific thing and there's something in your way. You can hide it and then carry on working and then unhide it. Just remember when you've got stuff hidden, because there have been times I've hidden stuff, completely forgot about them, like a truck. I brought a full truck in to measure a parking space on one of my buildings, hid it and then forgot it was there, and then when I exported the model it appeared in the blinking model. I was like, oh, what the heck's that doing there? It wasn't meant to be part of the building. So yeah, so if you hide stuff, just remember to unhide stuff later. Alright, let's link, let's GY, let's just link, let's GUI, let's just split those up again. Now, right, let's link, let's Shift D, GY, D. Let's go grab these faces using Control. Let's GY, X, let's GX, and then snap. You can change that. If you GY by mistake, like I did there, GY, and I didn't mean to, you can press X now and it will switch between the two. So if you're pressing X and Y there, it'll switch. If you make a mistake and press the wrong button, I do it frequently, it's fine. You know, even the best modelers and the best teachers out there make mistakes. Don't worry about making mistakes, seriously. It will happen. You will make a lot of them. Okay, so what we've done there is just flatten that. Let's GZ. Let's take it up higher than this one. The reason we want it higher because we want to snap it back down again, GZ, to be able to snap it that high. If we GY now and snap it across here, now we've got the second floor windows. Let's go into 2. Let's edge select. Let's Shift Alt click those, dissolve edges. We don't need those. Let's leave that one in because that's got the connections there to those windows. Right. So let's have a bit of a concrete bit in between each two. Let's Control R that one. Let's Control R that one. Let's do that again. Control R that one, Control R that one. Let's 3, let's grab those, let's Shift click that one, Control click that one, extrude X 0.2. No, that's too much. Whenever you extrude, whenever you press E, if you right click and cancel, it's still duplicated those faces, so you need to Control Z. Right clicking doesn't just cancel it, it duplicates the verts. It's a little bit strange. Let's extrude X 0.05. That'll do. What we're going to do now is just go and grab these edge pieces here. Shift click those and let's delete those faces. We don't need those. In fact, we've got a bit on the inside here as well. Let's get these. Let's Control click there. We're going to delete them and we're going to have to do it again because there was 2 lots of them there. And the reason being is because these aren't actually connected. So if we link select and we link select, we can select those separately. I want to keep it that way for the time being. but that's given us a bit of a concrete edging in between the two floors as well. Right, let's control loop 3, do that one again. We're going to extrude X, we're going to control click over one of these vertices to give us the same distance. Don't control click the end bits, let's delete those, and let's go delete that top row of faces. Let's delete those as well. Right, oh, we got that. So you shouldn't have any faces inside. Shouldn't have any in between these two. And we don't need to have any on the top there. Now, what I would do here, yeah, how long have we been going for? 36 minutes. Right, so we've got some basic principles of panel building. What we're going to do with this is I'm going to do some more details in the next episode. We're going to go and put a roof on and stuff. I'm going to show you how to use these pieces to not only create a building, but we're going to texture it as well. And I'm going to texture it before I build it. Because otherwise, if we texture it after we've built it, it's going to take us a long time. It's a lot more work. Whereas if we texture it before we build it, I've done this on a few buildings. I've built a number of panels, I've gone and textured them, and then I've gone and made 3 or 4 buildings out of them. And we'll do that next time. Right, I hope you got something out of this. I hope you found some of this useful. Go ahead, practice, play around, try the different things out. Use loop cuts, use the different selection methods, use the extrude, the scale, things like that. You can mess around with. Remember, if you want to, if you want to flatten something, if you want to say, let's do it on this one again. Let's GX. Say we've got that, and we didn't want it. If you wanted to flatten that, you could go scale X0, and it will flatten it. Now it will flatten it to a medium point, and it will pull out any other faces as well. So if we grab them all, scale X0, it'll flatten it again, but it'll move it off position from these ones. That's just where we can GX, and we can drag that back there though. I want to do that. Right, so there's some windows and there's a couple of doors. You go and make them, and I'll go and make a texture file which I will share in the next episode. I'll share in the description of the next episode, and we'll texture them, and I'll show you a few different ways of making them into a big building. Right, okay. Thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed this one. I want to carry on. I want to do like 2 hours. I want to show you loads of stuff, but I don't want to overload you with information. We've had conversations on Discord about what I should be showing you and things, and people have said, show them booleans and array modifiers and things like this, and it's like, I don't want to get things too confusing for people. One of the biggest problems I had when I started watching tutorials, they would just go firing through everything, and I'd be like, well, you're not actually showed me how to make anything. We've not made anything together. You've just been talking about menus, and now I'm still none the wiser. So this was the whole point of this, is I want you to play along. I want you to make stuff with me as we're making it, and they're going to be like little classes, but like little practice sessions. So we're going to be making things. We're going to keep practicing the same things over and over again. And the reason being is because repetition will get it stuck in your head. You will learn from repetition. That's how I learn pretty much everything. And the more you do things, the better you will get at it, and the more natural it will come to you. So while things are a little bit confusing still at the moment, you're already making windows, you're already making doors, you're already altering things and fixing some of the geometry. We'll talk about that as well in more detail as we go along. Removing excess faces is good practice, not having things that are overlapping or stuck out into one another. I think we need to, let's merge those. Yeah, there were some vertices in there we needed to merge. I just noticed that sometimes you can, let's just undo that. sometimes you can notice, if you notice this line is just ever so slightly darker than the others. I don't know how well that will translate on in screen. I don't know whether you can actually see any difference there or not. But if let's just link M by distance, that line thins itself out. I don't know how well you can see that, or whether that is just my trained eye for knowing where I've got tons of mistakes going on. Some of my early buildings are absolutely full of awful bad geometry and bits overlapping and all sorts of things. So the whole point of these exercises is so that you can avoid making those kind of mistakes. But we will make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. We're only human. It's natural. You know, it's learning how to cope with those mistakes and how to fix them, and how not to despair, how not to worry about things. And let's just, you know, let's work on it, and we'll get better. That's the main thing. Right, thanks everybody again for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. I shall be back really soon. It won't be a couple of days. It will be maybe today or even tomorrow. Possibly tomorrow. I've had a bit of hay fever the last few days, so I've been all bunged up and I haven't been able to record anything. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. Give us a thumbs up, give us a like down there if you did. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Check the bell if you want the notifications of when the next episodes come in, and we'll be back really soon and we'll work on some more. See you then. Bye. Oh yeah, don't forget, save. Bye.